The bravery of a Great Yarmouth schoolboy is being recognised at an awards ceremony in London tonight. 7-year-old Oliver Gent has a rare condition affecting bone development. He has to have his feet pinned into a special frame, which is causing him considerable pain. He's been named the bravest child in his age group at the National Well Child Awards.
Volunteers from the Suffolk National Trust got wet and muddy this weekend to preserve one of Britain's best-known landscapes. They've been pulling all of the reed mace out of the pond at Flatford Mills, which features in John Constable's painting The Haywain.
Part of it is to make sure that this very famous, iconic Constable view stays recognisable. We're not fossilising the landscape, but we're working on making sure that this stretch of water stays open and doesn't get completely overgrown with reed mace.
Football and Ipswich and Norwich both failed to win at the weekend.
But that's not the case for Colchester United. They remain unbeaten in League One after their first home win of the season. Donovan Blake rounds up the action.
It's 8 games and counting for John Ward in Colchester United, his team achieving what Chelsea and Arsenal were unable to do at the weekend by staying unbeaten in the league. It's their best start since 1961, and defeat was not an issue after they cruised to a 3-goal lead over Tranmere. Anthony Wordsworth's free kick, the pick of them, but less than 4,000 fans were there to see the game, something which Ward hopes will change if the unbeaten run continues. The U's are now 5th with 14 points. Just 2 points behind Peterborough, who are 2-1 winners over the MK Dons. A case of a sluggish start and a strong finish for Ipswich. Jamie Peters with their equaliser at Scunthorpe, although manager Roy Keane felt they should have gone on to win the game.
If we keep getting results like we have been doing and we're not starting games brightly, then it's not the end of the world. You know, some teams, a lot of teams have good records in terms of first half performance, but seem to fade away. We seem to be the opposite at the moment.
At Norwich, Paul Lambert thought his players needed a break in front of goal, the sort which earned Hull their late opener on Saturday. And he had no complaints with Hull's second, beautifully struck by Tom Kearney, nor with City's performance.
Some things you need a bit of luck. We just never got it on that day, but performance-wise and the energy and the hunger and the desire to win a game was there in abundance.
Quite the opposite, though, for Southend boss Paul Sturrock in League Two, happier with the win rather than the display at Hereford. The 3-1 victory included a first goal in 19 months for striker Michael Timblin, on loan from Swindon. Donovan Blake, Anglia News.
Well, some motor racing now, and the Norfolk-based Lotus F1 team had a...
Now, have you ever thought there might be something out there?
There's a lot of rain at the moment. Well, it's 30 years since Suffolk became the focus of world attention for UFO experts after mysterious sightings in Rendlesham Forest. And today, retired American servicemen have been speaking about the encounter. Malcolm Robertson has more.
30 years on, the memories of Bentwaters are still very vivid. This former US air base looks much as it did, despite closing in 1993. But it's what happened here 17 years earlier that Bentwaters will always be remembered. Today, Americans are lifting the lid on what they saw when they went to nearby Rendlesham Forest to investigate bright lights seen from the base in December 1980. Colonel Charles Holt was the deputy base commander at Bentwaters, and he claims that a UFO hovering nearby directed beams of light onto the base, and this had the effect of weapons inexplicably malfunctioning. He also alleges that the whole incident was covered up. He's among a number of former American servicemen talking about their experience of UFOs at a press conference currently taking place in Washington.
I think the Rendlesham Forest case is one of the most dramatic UFO incidents on record. They witnessed this disc-shaped object maneuver around the sky. At one point, it hovered over them, sending down a laser-like beam of light no more than 10 or 12 feet from their feet.
Military radio then reported that aliens had landed. Inevitably, there'll be a great deal of scepticism about what may or may not have taken place in Rendlesham. Brenda Butler is a regular visitor to the forest and over the years has taken thousands of pictures, which she says proves there are extraterrestrials, and she saw some as recently as Saturday night.
We saw a light being as we were walking up, which used to be track 10, and it was standing by the lid. And I said, oh look, there's something standing there. And I went to take a photograph of it, and it shot through the forest.
The mystery of that December night in 1980 is reflected by the presence of a UFO trail in the forest. At the time, Vince Thurkettle was the forest manager.
Even though there wasn't a shred of evidence in the woods that I could see as a countryman, man and boy, but I really don't understand why a reasonably large group of adult airmen who should know about these things would have been out in the woods 2 nights running. They were looking directly in the beam of Orford Ness Lighthouse, which they never mentioned in the earlier work.
There are those who continue to pour scorn over claims of UFOs and aliens in Suffolk. But there are also others who believe something extraordinary happened in 1980 and that strange goings-on are still taking place today in Rendlesham Forest. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News, Suffolk.
Well, who knows, eh? Right.
Not me.
Now, when schoolgirl Heather Doyle from Norfolk entered a cartoon competition, she probably didn't expect to see the end result on television.
But that is exactly what happened. Heather from Long Stratton has just seen her creation aired on the CITV channel.
Now, if we're all sitting comfortably, Jim Rice can tell us more.
This is the story of a little girl who made a cartoon and ended up on television. Heather Doyle's story was so good it won a national competition, and now all her classmates know its name.
Captain Bikini Bob and the Evil Bin.
Captain Bikini Bob and the Evil Bin. Captain Bikini Bob and the Evil Bin.
But what's it all about? Well, rather than me tell you, why doesn't Heather?
My story is about an evil bin who tries to take over the world, but he tries to take over the world when all of the other superheroes have gone on holiday.
That fan looks tasty!
He eats everything up and terrorises the people of Smallville. Run, everyone! Help me! He doesn't know that there is a superhero who in fact stayed at home for the holidays, and her name was Captain Bikini Bob. Danger.
This looks like a job for me. See you later, Smelly.
She disappeared into her bedroom and started, getting creative, thinking up the story, drew it all up, and I saw it briefly before in the envelope, and that was it. So she was left to her own devices.
Imagine everyone's surprise then when Mum got a phone call from CITV saying Heather was a winner.
I was having break and I got called in. I thought I was in trouble. I thought I'd done something really naughty, but when I did actually see Mum, something clicked. Like, hang on a second, this isn't normal. And when she told me I'd won, I exploded.
Next came a trip to CITV's studios in Manchester, where Heather got to see her drawings being made into TV characters and record their voices. There she met Hannah Flint from Bedfordshire, another prize winner who was also having her idea made into a TV cartoon.
There was a lonely little blue budgie shut in a cage. One day he escaped with the front door keys and went to the forest.
Budgies escaped!
Back at home in Norfolk, Heather's cartoon is a big hit with her brother and sister.
It's really funny. I love it.
I like the bin because it's really funny. And I like all the voices.
So, thanks to Heather, there's never any argument about what to watch on TV. Jim Rice, Anglia News, Long Stratton in Norfolk.
That's brilliant.
Oh, cool. And if you'd like to see both Hannah's and Heather's cartoons in full, go to our website and follow the links. That's itv.com/Anglia.
Now, the Health Secretary joined walkers in Cambridge at the weekend as part of ITV's Walk for Life Day.
Andrew Lansley, who's MP for South Cambridgeshire, led the mile-long stroll around the city's mill pond in rather wet conditions.
The campaign's aimed at promoting a healthier lifestyle, and Mr Lansley proved he can go the extra mile, certainly by joining some hardcore ramblers on a 4-mile walk to Colchester and then back again.
I'm really delighted that ITV are so involved, not just in Walk for Life, but actually in the whole Change for Life, because actually what it's about is giving people the opportunity to think about how they can make the most of their lives, not just add years to their life, but add life to their years. And it's a good opportunity for ITV to be helping people to make the most of their lives.
Now, cucumber sandwiches are a traditional English meal, but a grandmother from Cambridgeshire could probably feed 50 people from just one of the fruits she's cultivated in her greenhouse.
She could, yes. Claire Pearce from Whittlesea has grown one that's 43.5 inches long, I kid you not, which could be a world record. Stuart Leiths has been to see it.
It may not be visible from space, but this cool fruit is a hot topic of conversation. It's the giant cucumber that Claire Pearce has grown at home in Whittlesea, with help from her granddaughter Louise. At 43.5 inches, it could be the longest in the world.
It's a complete surprise, which is, it hasn't happened before, it won't happen again. I wasn't trying to grow long cucumbers, I just thought we'd get some cucumbers in on the way.
Claire, who's 78, is now waiting for official confirmation from Guinness World Records that her cucumber is the longest they've ever seen.
On my way here, I stopped off at the supermarket to get some cucumbers to compare with this one, and it's actually longer than 3 normal cucumbers put together.
She's also grown this cucumber that's slightly shorter and an oversized aubergine. But Claire says she never set out to grow giant fruit.
It was just sheer chance. I can't claim any credit for growing it. I didn't know it was going to do it. I watched with interest while it did. And as I say, it's been a good topic of conversation within the family.
Sadly, it's now past its best and starting to turn a bit yellow. So Claire will have to find something else to put in her sandwiches. Stuart Leiths, Anglia News, Whittlesea.
Take that into Rendlesham for us. I think it's a UFO.
Let's have the weather now with Rachel. Come on, we need some sunshine, don't we?
We're not going to get it, are we?
Thanks for watching this evening.
Bye-bye.